we're gonna put in half an onion. Wow, this is exceeding expectations already. Look at this. That would have taken me 5 minutes, and instead it took me 15 seconds. Just so you know, you can't dump it upside down without the blade coming out. Okay, it handled the onion like nothing. Let's see how it does with celery, something a little bit more substantial. So one safety feature, I'm glad this is happening right now. One of the safety features on this thing is it will not work if the canister or the top are not set perfectly. Oh, there's still some big chunks in here. Whoops, all right, I stopped it too soon. Especially when you have wet hands, the canister can be a little difficult to remove. So, first impressions of the Liebe&Lecker mini food processor. I should preface this by saying that I've never really used food processors before. I'm a chopping guy, have been since birth. So if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, it's because I don't. But I think the newbie perspective is important, so that is what I'm leaning into it. I'm a newbie. So, pros and cons. As advertised, it does make chopping a lot easier. It went through the onion and the celery like it was nothing. It was impressive. 10 seconds, I think, to mince it down to something that was what I needed. Again, it was minced size, so it wasn't really chopped size. If I ever want something chopped, I'm not quite sure. Perhaps I have to do some reading, but again, it has one button and no other settings. I'm not sure how I would even make that happen. It is small, and I live alone. I have simple needs for one person, but 1.5 cups is a small size. And so if you are cooking for 2 or more, you should definitely get a larger one. This is clearly meant for a single serving work. I love that it has a safety feature that it will not run unless the canister and the top are securely in place. Because even if that stuff is a little out of place, I know from TikTok videos that stuff can go flying everywhere. So I love that little safety feature. The one thing I encountered, and I talked about this while I was using it, is that getting stuff out of the bottom is kind of like, even now, like look, I've washed this and there's still some celery in here. So it's just difficult to clean because it's a tiny canister, like it's hard to get like a sponge in your hand in there. However, all 3 of these items are top shelf dishwasher safe, meaning if you put it on the top shelf of your dishwasher, it's fine. Do not put it on the bottom shelf like a lot of other things. It will ruin it. So if I didn't need this for a while, I would have just tossed it in the dishwasher and forgot about it. But if I knew I was going to use it again in the next few days, I would have had to wash it. And washing it is a little finicky. It's a little tricky to get it completely clean, as I've just proven, because look at these little shards of celery in here. I thought I washed it thoroughly and I missed some of it. So hand washing is a little tricky and time consuming. Is it slower than chopping everything manually and not having to wash this? No, this is still faster. I just want to make sure that you understand that washing this out by hand might be a little challenging and take more time than you expected. Okay, so sometimes it's a little tricky to get this thing back in, as I've just discovered. You've got to line it up perfectly. I was afraid to push too hard. I didn't want to break it. So just keep in mind that all of these parts, they are designed to be put together in a very specific way, and you just have to get comfortable with that way. I'm not comfortable with it yet. I've literally only used this once, so I'm gonna just need like some familiarization time before I get comfortable with how this all goes back together and to be able to do that efficiently. Storage isn't a problem at all. It doesn't take up much space. I might even leave it out on the counter, even though I have a condo with limited kitchen counter space. I think it could actually live on the kitchen counter without creating too much of a space problem. So I love that about it. So great first impression. The pros and cons are pretty straightforward. Pros, it makes things a lot faster. Cons, it's a little small, it's a little tricky to clean by hand, and if you want something that's like properly chopped instead of minced, I'm not sure this can handle it. If you want things that are minced, no problem. This guy can handle it, but if you are looking for chopped, it might be a little too efficient for that. Again, it only has one button. It's made to be simple. I love that actually, because I have simple needs, but if you want varying degrees of consistency, chopped, minced, diced, liquefied, this is not going to be able to do that for you. It can do minced very well, and it can kind of do chopped okay, but that's it. And I forgot to mention that there's this little hole at the top. According to the product description, you use this hole to pour things in like olive oil or whatever, so you can add stuff in without taking off the top. But again, that's olive oil, I think, is probably the beginning and end of that list, or other liquids. But if you need to add like more vegetables, obviously this has to come off. But you know what? It's simple enough. It comes off. It's pretty easy. There's this one guide tab right here, so you know exactly how to put it in. Learning how to use this is a very, very quick process. So, pros. It makes chopping and mincing things much, much faster. If you don't need it again immediately, you can just toss this in the dishwasher on the top shelf, and it cleans. Cons, hand washing it is tricky, as I've already learned. And also, if you want anything other than minced or finely chopped, if you want a different consistency, this thing can't handle it. It is just one button, it does one thing. If you do it too little, you're gonna have large chunks, and maybe that's okay if you're looking for chopped. But if you do it too long, it's gonna be minced. And if you don't want your stuff minced, this probably isn't gonna be the right thing for you.